I was hearing you play a little hornpipe earlier. Is that just an exercise for warm-up, or do you actually play that?
It's another one we have. Yes. Would you like to hear that one?
I'd like to hear that one.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, nice job. You can gather in more closely if you want to, so I'm not yelling, okay?
There is a microphone here too,
Oh,
so.
there's a phone, good Lord, I'm a colonel, I don't need a microphone.
It's just there so that they can hear and so.
Okay, so this is for recording purposes,
No,
is it?
no, just so that they can hear.
All right, well, we'll do it that way. First of all, thank you. Which piece do you think you're most comfortable with? Hornpipe? Yeah? All right, well, why don't we start on that before we get into some of the other, because some of the things I'm hearing in everything you're doing, we can address with something you're most comfortable with first, okay? First of all, tell me your name. Jack? Is it Jack? Nice to meet you. Doing a nice job. May I borrow your bow for a minute? I want you all to take a look at this, particularly the younger strings, not so much the cello. We have to be careful when we, talk about bow length on cello, otherwise it distorts. But for violas and violins, if you take a look at that, it's pretty extensive, right? Well, you may not have bought it, maybe the school's instrument, but it's still the whole bow, right? They bought the whole bow. That's one of the first things we're going to need to work on, because here's what the average is, as I've watched you work, okay? The average use of the bow is somewhere from about here to here, kind of in that region, between the fingers, okay? You all see it back there? This would be like using about half of our voice in singing in the full chorus, right? You're all choral members, are you? Okay? We're playing with half breaths on winter brass instruments, all right? So that's one of the first things we want to pay attention to is particularly on the slow movements. On the slow movements, you don't want less bow, you want more. What's the tendency when we see piano? What's our tendency? Well, certainly we slow down. Typically, groups will slow down. They see piano and think, okay, that means put the brakes on. All right? But in terms of the use of the bow, since we're talking about the use of the bow, what do we normally do when we see piano? We use less bow. And we should actually look to do the opposite, but only faster. Okay? So the bow travels faster, but it travels lighter on the string. So we get a lot of, I'm going to use this side of it so I'm not ruining my shirt or the hair or the horse hair, okay? So when we're playing softly, it's actually more that airy sound. We get that nice transparent airy sound by moving the bow more quickly, but the full length of it. Okay? So that's one of the things when we go to one of the slow parts, we're going to look at that. Okay? The bow is one of the, shall we say, the more important parts of your work here, particularly on something that's busy. So when we talk about a piece like the hornpipe, anybody play the piano? Anybody play the, okay, so tell me your name. Evan? Devin? Anybody else play the piano here? Okay, so you'll identify with this. One of the things that happens when we get really busy, on the left hand, what do we do with the right hand? Sorry, I've got it backwards. When we're busy in the right hand, what are we doing with the left hand? We're trying to balance it. Okay? We're trying to keep it balanced. Well, it's the same thing on string instruments. Okay? When you've got this busyness going here, so bum da 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 dee beep beep bum da da dee, guess what? That energy that it takes to get through this, We don't need less bow, we need more, okay? More specifically deliberate. And more can mean not just the length of the bow, okay? It can also mean a little bit of the pressure, the bow pressure into the string, okay? So that we have a balance always between the two hands. It's the same on the piano, okay? I mean, the Chopin etudes are notorious for that, basically getting a balance between, you know, like say the very first Chopin etude is very busy up and down arpeggios like this, and everybody thinks it's a right hand study. It's actually, and the left hand is playing nothing but octaves. It's actually a left hand study, okay? It's a balance game. So we do this same thing with the strings, okay? So when you're doing, at the beginning here, the bum, bing, bum, yum, bum, ding, bum, ding, dum, ding, it's got to be a little more active. Now, you're not taking it to that tempo, that's fine. We can go a little short, but I'm going to ask you to start at the beginning of the hornpipe with an eye toward, or an ear toward, or an arm toward more action in that right arm, okay? More action in the right arm. And the action is actually here, nice and flexible, and here is where it's what's driving the energy, from the elbow, not from here. Okay? If this goes up, it's all over. It all tenses up. Okay? Same thing if we're singing. Sing like this, and we're gasping. Okay? So the shoulders, it's a clear telltale sign of corruption is when the shoulders are going north. Okay? Whether you're a pianist or a violinist or playing the cello, playing the bass. See bass players do this, you know, and think they have to do it. We end up being the hunchback of Notre Dame by the time we're done. Right? Let's take it from the beginning of this. This seems like about your tempo, yes? By the way, you're doing a fine job getting it started and stopped, and good for you. It's not easy. Are you a theater person? Is that what I understand? Okay, good. There's more to that too. Here we go. Set. One, and we go. Good. You hear the difference in the sound already? It's starting to get, it's already got more energy to it. Now, try another thing. There's a conceptual thing that we got to get fixed. Okay? And as wonderful as it is, one of the things you're having issues with is alignment. Okay, vertical alignment. There's a very fast way to fix this if you don't remember anything else we talk about today. If you don't remember anything else, remember this one thing. Everybody, it's always easier to sing or play pickups. What do I mean by that? Anybody want to guess? Listen to this. Bum, bum, bing, bum, 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 bing, bum, bum, bing, bum, bum, bum. We're trying to find those pickups after a beat, which means it's like driving down the German Autobahn looking in the rearview mirror. It'll get you killed. Okay? Or out here on 395 on the Beltway. Okay? We don't want to drive down the highway looking in the rearview mirror. What are we doing when we play notes after a beat? What are we doing? Anybody want to guess? Is it proactive? Is it reactive? What is it? It's reactive. You bet it is. We're reacting to the beat that just went by. In other words, we're playing on the past. What we need to do is always play to the future, okay? Which is the beat that's in front of us, typically the next strongest beat. So in this instance, the way we take a look at those notes is bum, bum, bing, bum, bum, pick a, bum, bee, bum, bing, bum, bum, bing, bum, bum. Play them forward. You understand? Rather than trying to find it after 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1. It'll always be late and never together. Okay? Or rarely together. Try it. Right from the very beginning. Play forward. Even the 2 quarter notes. The feel of this piece is on 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1. Everything after 1 is a pickup to the next 1. Think of it that way. Try it. Set, 1, and you go. What happened?
They kind of went a little.
Was it better together?
Yeah.
It was better together. Then what happened? When we got into the 8 notes, what did we do? We reverted back to playing after the beat. And it went boom, 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 like this. We dragged, okay? 1 is always coming in the same place. You can always literally count on it, okay? And they're doing a fine job over here, by the way, keeping it going. Now, your bowing is not helping you. Respectfully, if we had more time together, we'd be doing something like up, 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 down, up, down, okay? Can you try that just for giggles? We've got time to just try it, right? Instead of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, which is kind of clumsy. Try it up, 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 down, up, 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 down. Set, once again, to the beginning. Just for the exercise. 1, and you go. Down. Just on that spot. Beep, 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 da da da. What is that? What picture is that? It's just to help make the point as to the 5. Yeah, let's start at measure 5. Right on measure 5, the downbeat. And then 3 ups. Up, 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 down. Okay, here we go. Measure 5. 1, and you go. Bum, bum, up, up, up. Change it now in terms of your playing, but what I suggested to you is that that's one of the things that when you go back to the workshop, so to speak, that you can work on, because the primary pulse of this piece is always on 1, okay? Everything plays to 1, and even one of the problems with published bowings, as you well know, is that it really can get you going backwards when ultimately that for string players, that directly affects your ensemble, okay? So when you can feel that down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down, it automatically puts you mechanically playing toward as pickup to 1. It's easier to move toward that down bow, okay? And of course, you know this is a well-played violins. So one of the things I typically encourage for a lot of groups I work with is the bowings typically, in this case, arranged by Richard Meyer. He might be a string player, he might not be. I suspect he probably is, but these bowings are not necessarily carved in concrete. Okay, so the biggest thing is move toward getting that bow so that it's working evenly up and down, and that's going to help you up, 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 down, and that'll help you use the whole bow. Right now, this thing will get a mixture of articulations, whereas this sort of approach tries to help get everybody into that same game, so to speak. Okay. Same deal at 11. Just so you know, if we counted everything with 1 as a down bow, okay, through this piece, with rare exception. You've got a couple of spots, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, for example, okay? If everything was aimed to work your bowing out so that you always were down on 1, the ensemble would improve dramatically already, because you're all feeling the same right arm down together on the down bow. So that's one of the things you want to take a look at, okay? Obviously, for right now, you've been playing it the way it is in the printed bowings, and it's fine as far as it goes. But to take it to the next level, I just suggest that you take a look at that. I wanted to make a note too. A couple of things, both in the viola section on this piece and earlier on in one of the other pieces. You got to make sure we're taking a look at the key signatures, okay? Because you've got some accidentals you're putting in there that are natural notes, and we're making them sharps. And it's sort of, we'll address it when we hear it, okay? Could you take the, I'm going to move on to a different piece, because you're comfortable with this. but you're also into a specifically printed bowing, and we just need to work on getting that addressed, and I think it's going to help a lot. All right, let's move on to your dramatic essay. Okay, here's where we go with the full bow exercise, and then going to pianissimo at 9 and how we approach that. Okay? Could you start once again from the beginning? Give me your tempo. Is it about bump, B, 3, and 4, and 1? Yes? Here we go. From the beginning. As soon as I say 1, I'm going to have you count 2 measures silently and come in together. Okay? Now here's the rules. No head bobbing, no toe tapping, no physical indicators whatsoever to each other. Okay? Except boom. Okay? You're going to start it from the string and you're going to start it together. Again, here's the instruction. 2 full measures once I say 1, 2, 3. Play. Okay? Understand? Here's your tempo. One. How'd they do? Okay. Yeah? Really? Did they go eight beats? Roughly. That's generous. How about 7 beats?
Yep.
7 beats and we started. Try it again. 8 full beats and then you start. And the first beat of the 8 is when I say 1. 1. Good. Better. How'd we do? Better. Better. Was it together? No, not quite. One last time. Okay, focus. One. You guys, right? Cardinal rule. This goes for choruses as well as bands. The melody is always 2-to-1 to everybody else. Okay? Always. Because we don't go home and sing in the shower the accompaniment. You know what I mean? I don't go home and go, la, 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 la. That's not what I'm singing. Normally it's la, li, la, la. Right? Excuse my voice. But you get the idea. Certainly with my voice. My wife would not be happy if I was singing the accompaniment at the top of my lungs. You know what I mean? So yes, 2-1 to everybody else. I don't care what's marked on the score, okay? Let everybody else play piano. By the way, what does piano mean? Pianissimo, what does it mean? Okay, this is a biggie, and it's a common misconception. I've been married to an Italian for 38 years. I mean, the real imported European version, right? Piano, when we say to the kids, we've raised 6 kids, va piano, va piano. It means go gently, go easily, okay? It has nothing to do with soft. Soft is what happens when you go easily, okay? Soft is about amplitude. How much present in the room, how much not present in the room is it? Okay? If it's the melody, marked piano, it still has to be the melody above everybody else. Okay? If you've got a big orchestra, which you will, okay? You're working on it, you're on the way. Okay? When you get a big orchestra, a wind player is sitting there going, but it says piano. Yes, but don't look now, but there's 80 string players here and you're outnumbered. Okay? So guess what they have to play in order to be heard with the melody, even as soft as the strings can play. Okay? That melody, if they have the melody, again, we come to hear the melody. All right? And the melody tends to drive phrasing and everything else. So in this particular instance, you guys have the melody, you need to play stronger than everybody else. And if you don't have the melody, you guys are theatrically downstage. Melody is the main character, downstage, and all the other supporting cast is where? Further upstage, okay? That's what we mean by don't upstage the melody, right? Well, upstage you go. Try it again from the beginning. Let's work on the balance thing now, okay? Now, forgive me, before we move on, what was the exercise about in clicking fingers and what have you? Anybody know? All right, it's a key one for us as string players. Okay, as pianists, as string players, when you internalize the pulse and get a discipline about that, for choruses it's the same thing, by the way. For bands, it's essential. Okay, this internal pulse that the group does together directly impacts our technical ability to execute because we're mechanics in this, string players, okay? Everything has to happen in rhythm in terms of mechanical placement as well, including the bow. The bow places rhythmically in time, every time at the same moment. If you don't do that, it's a guessing game every time you play. Okay? Well, I practiced 4 hours today. Yeah, but what did you practice? Did you practice it differently every time? One of the reasons we're able to get a hold of what we do mechanically is we put it against time-space. Okay? Deliberately against time-space. So the bow, for example, down, place, down, up, down, off, place, down, up. You understand? I'm placing the bow on the string on the 8th rest, okay, in advance. When I do that every time, I can measure it. I can figure out the efficiency in eliminating what we don't need, because effectively, technique is not about adding stuff. You see folks trying to, I'm going to practice it harder, and they practice it bigger and more energy. Technique is not about that. It's about getting rid of what we don't need. Okay? So this efficiency piece is directly tied to rhythm. Okay? Every time. That's why we go through that exercise to internalize what it means to hold our own pulse and then to be able to lay what we're doing physically against that pulse. Okay? And to be able to hold the pulse without rushing it, particularly when it gets busy. Okay? You had a moment in the solo in the hornpipe where you jumped the gun by a beat, got ahead of the group, figured it out, but you jumped ahead of the group. Why? Because it got busy and we lost our pulse. Okay? You'll fix it, but it's just one of those things that happens when we're not necessarily accustomed to holding our own pulse. All right? So when we do this as a group and think it through as a group, you're in a very privileged circumstance right now because you effectively are a large chamber group. okay? Great orchestras play like large chamber groups in any case. It's not about, as you well know, it's not about our stick, because we don't make any sound, okay? Same thing with band. When I was commanding the Air Force band here, in the Air Force Symphony, I rarely ever had to beat much, okay? Matter of fact, they would resent it if you beat too much, because it's like micromanaging them, okay? Rather than helping to work on balance, working on phrasing, helping to remind them where the releases are and so forth, helping them get started and stop. God bless you. Okay? But otherwise, we don't make the sound. You guys do. And in doing that together, you have to begin this with a collective pulse together. Okay? So this starting, figuring it out, one of the things I'm going to suggest to you, that exercise will give you, over the long view, a flexibility with the group that they would never get from making it a visual game. Okay? Because I know a lot of directors coast to coast when I've done these things. They're hung up about the stick. Okay? The stick's important to help facilitate their playing together, but it does not play it together for you. So when we do these pulse exercises inside, internalizing that pulse, what it does is it seasons them into that habit. And over the long view, you'll be able to step back and they'll do what they're doing now, only with a big group. So as your group grows, you don't want to lose what you're doing right now with this chamber intimacy thing, because it just gets bigger and bigger, and they have to listen to each other to stay together. So it's really important. But the pulse piece is critical in all of that. Okay? All right. So if you would, let's go once again from the beginning, and I'm going to ask you to do the exercise related to this rhythm thing of down, place, two. So it's in rhythm. It's not down, dum, down, attack, dum. Okay? Try it. Here's your tempo. 2, and away we play. Boom. Stop, please. Okay, what I have, check your F natural on that. Okay, it's not an F sharp. There it is, a little lower. All right, now here, it's an 8th note fold. Long place, D, place, D. It's not jump, right? You have a full 8th note there. You're giving us maybe, if it were 50 cents on the dollar, we'd be lucky. Okay? Down, and, D, full length, D, and, bum. And it's like a rubber band. D, place, bum. Try it. 2, and we go in. There you go. Try it again. Let's make sure it wasn't an accident. From the string. 2, and away we go in. 2, 3, and 4, and place, and good. Okay, good. Now here's what we did. D, D, D. Keep going. It's still 4 D. D, full length. D, 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 D. Add one thing now. Okay? It's already better. Add one thing. You're going to do the full length bow and keep the pressure up. Okay? Don't let the pressure go off as you go toward the tip. D, B, so you feel like it's a rubber band. D, B. Okay? All the way. D. Okay? Because you have a crescendo there, right? Right? You're going to have to use some bow pressure. Start it slower and speed it up and keep the pressure up as you go through the bow. One more time. 2, and 3, and 4, and. Thank you very much. Good. Now you guys have to listen to them to make sure you don't land before they do. Okay? On the downbeat. One more time. 2. Start from the string. You can use more bow. Tell me your name. Cassie, you can use more bow on that first note. D, D. Okay, it's not as short as we think. 2, and ready, and go, and. Full bow, full bow, full bow. And place. D, 2, and 3, and 2. Full bow, full bow. let's do the exercise at 9. Remember, the bow is fast, but very light on the string. Okay? You want no weight on the string, but you want the bow fast. You want to use the whole bow. Okay? Right on. 9, 2, and you go. 1. Full bow, all the way to the tip. Okay, good, good. Now here's the deal. Does everybody know their notes? The measure before 15. Take a look at the notes, the measure before 15. Do you know your notes on the downbeat of 15? Everybody see it? Okay, kindly close your music and start the measure before 15. And look at each other. Okay? 1, 2, and we go. Okay, were we together? No. Okay, you got to help us more. Here's what it looks like. Boom, in tempo. Okay? You got already bing, 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 bing. All right. Just break the measure in half of what it's going to be in the fast tempo. Okay, try it again. 2, 3, and 4, and. Not bad, not bad. Try it again. Now here's the deal. Don't lift the bow. From the string. Bum, bum, bing, right? And it's here, guys. No more than right there on that first attack. Okay? Just try the wrist. Focus on doing nothing but the wrist on that first attack. Once again. 2, and we go. Now, once again. 2, 3, and. Good, better. Okay, now here's the deal. You're doing down, up, right? Try it to the violas, right on that spot. 2, and you go. No, just on, I'm sorry, at 15, right on 15. 2, a little further up in the bow. Middle of the bow is, there you got some resilience, okay? 2, and you go. No, you're going backwards. One more time. Down, up, 2, and you go. There you go. Better. We're just a little under the pitch. Let's get that to that. Double check your tuning here, okay? Okay, closer. Okay, good, better. Try it again. One more time. Right on, just the 2 of you. 1, 2, and you go. Good, better. You feel how it feels? It feels better up that part, and it doesn't scratch as much. It's easier to control when it's in the middle of that bow, okay? Let's go, please. 19, 15. Good. Here's your tempo. Everybody.
Back to our music.
You really want to use the music? Yes, of course you do. Go ahead, open it up. 15. Set. 1, 2.
Sorry, 19,
15. How about there? Okay, try it there. Same thing, yes. Move it in. There you go. So it's got that sweet spot in the middle of the bow. Okay? There you go. Set. 1, 2, 1, 2, and you go. Good. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you to do this. Feel a crescendo through those quarters. Boom, bing, bum, bum. There are three-quarter note pickups to 1. You see it?
Yep.
Musically it works, and ensemble-wise it's going to work better. Okay? It's throwing the weight of all that going down the hill. Okay? Anybody study physics? Anybody study physics? Yeah? How about anybody in here? Okay. Someday when you study physics. Someday when you study physics. If you go, you know how to study physics really well in this regard? Is to go ride roller coasters. Anybody ride roller coasters? Yeah? Roller coasters? Yeah. Okay, we can do that. Here's the thing. Going up, you know the machine that's taking it up, that's called potential energy. Right? We got it going up this way. And then what happens over here? What happens? This is kinetic energy. Right? As we come down the backside here. Right? And at the bottom of the hill, that's where the greatest amount of what we call G forces are. Right? Gravitational forces. Well, we got the same thing in music. Okay? This up and downness in the melodic line, if you think always that you want to project that kind of momentum, guess what? The audience is moved. They don't know why. We do, because we do it deliberately. Right? Bum, 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 bum. Get it? Understand? So that's always hard. Now you're in stasis at 15, for example. But you can put it better in motion if you think, again, measure to measure. And it'll be better together. Try it. 15. So just a little bit of an increase across each measure, and then start it again. 1, 2, and you go. Okay, good. It is fun. Beep, 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 place. The rest is not a vacation, okay? It's there to say, I'm going to use that space to ensure my success in the future, okay? I use the space, I use the rest, not to go on vacation, but to actually place the next action. Now, for you guys, in the pizzicati, here's what I'm going to recommend, because you're getting a mixed sound. Can I borrow that for a second? There's a huge difference between this approach. I call it air bombing. Okay, we're air strikes. You know, coming from the Air Force, that was a common term, right? Air strikes. You want to anchor that thumb. I don't care where you anchor it, but most of the time I ask my string players in the university symphony to anchor it here so that they have consistency at the side of that finger that's the fleshy part, so we have a consistent sound across the entire group in terms of things, in terms of the pizzicato. Right now what you're doing is I see a mixed group. Some of you are doing this, what we call the bow hang. It looks like this, okay? We got the bow, and then we're doing this configured kind of thing where we're doing, okay? You're better to get it to where you double it back, and you've got these two fingers, right? And then you're not dropping the bow, but you're also not using it. Okay, you're not fighting the bow at the same time you're trying to pizz. You get the idea? Can you try it there, please? Let's just do the pizzicati at 27.
We have just a couple minutes left, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we're having too much fun.
Am I correct? Right?
It's 11:02, yeah.
Yeah. So we have just a couple.
Well, I thought we were going 11:30.
No. And we can talk out there. Except
Sure,
Jack.
okay, great.
Okay.
All right, so here's the deal.
We can talk some more, we just have to do it out there.
Wonderful. So, pizzicati, you all set? Let's just get that, there you go. Now, use the side of the finger, okay? This part right there. That part, not this, not the tip, okay? But there. Try it. 1, 2, and you go 1. Okay, good. You get the idea? You get the idea? All right, good. Let's go at 15 then. 15. Then 1, 2, and you go. Place. helpful hint. Okay, pizzicati, we always play at double the marking. Okay, because of the texture of the sound of it, and if it's too much, your conductor will say, okay, that's too much. Okay, but otherwise, there's a tendency it goes into the background where we can't hear it. It's kind of like, as opposed to boing, 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 boing. Okay, so as soon as I asked for more, the sound got better from the pizzicati because we're less afraid of it, so to speak. Okay, you're using more flesh. By the way, it's a more consistent sound too, the pizzicati now that you're doing it. All right, good. I'm sorry we're out of time so quick. Okay, so some key things to remember. Play pickups. Okay, play pickups. Always easier to play forward. Let's work on the bowing thing to figure out how, on the hornpipe, for example, always better to have that feel and the balance between the right and the left hand, that right arm bow is moving toward the next strong pulse. Okay? It could be 1, it could be 1 and 3. If the music's in 3, it would be 1. If it's in 4, it's 1 and 3. Okay? And always looking to try and get so that there's that sense of where are the main pulses and that everything we're doing in between up bow is leading to that next strong pulse. Okay? And playing its pickups. Melody, 2 to 1. Always. Okay? Everybody else upstage. Pizzicati, double the dynamic marking. What else did we review? Pulse, inner pulse. Working that exercise. You're going to want to do it with all kinds of different pieces because it will eventually internalize itself to a point that they think as a group. Okay? They're already well on the way because of the work you've done with them. It's like it's gelling. It's ready to go to that next level with some of these exercises and what have you that will discipline their inside. The other thing, guys, is remember, all of your practicing, remember the metronome is our friend, not because it just controls our tempo, okay? The metronome is our friend because it makes sure that we are consistent in the mechanics and when we're placing the bow and so forth in time space, okay? You want to use time to your benefit because when you do practice, then your practicing becomes very efficient and effective as opposed to just kind of guessing at it, all right? It's not just a feel thing, in other words. All right, very good. Hope this helps you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a fine young group. Stay at it. How many of you are freshmen? Raise your hands. Holly Moses. And guess what? Stick with it. Stick with it. You live in a beautiful place, by the way. That's in Wisconsin. I love this. All right, great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Go Orchestra!